Two grown men, co-workers, football fans, zero expertise. Mike, George. Since there's nothing else on TV, sit back, relax, and see what happens when two guys who work at the cable company steal 30 minutes of local access time while no one is looking on a channel that nobody's watching. This is the Mike and George Experiment.
It's 8 o'clock Friday night. This is the Mike and George Experiment. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Mike.
How are you doing, George?
I'm doing great, buddy.
Did you have a good weekend last weekend?
Had a great weekend whenever that weekend was. They're all good.
Some good football, huh?
I had some good football. I enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah. I saw some college. Actually saw some college.
Yeah.
East-West Shrine game, and
how was it?
it was actually pretty good. Pretty good. A lot of Shriners with their fezzes on in the audience, and you know, it's kind of cool. And they had a couple of good players on there that enhanced their standing in the draft, I think. So,
all right,
a lot of good playoff football.
Yes, playoff football.
Playoff football.
Let's talk about the playoffs.
You want to talk about that?
It's time.
All right.
Wow. First game, New England at Denver. Did anybody tell New England that they had a game on Sunday?
Did we ever tell you how much we loved New England?
Wow, they
don't worry, we won't.
They didn't score a touchdown till the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter. It was pitiful. As a matter of fact, I was sitting there watching it and I said, you know, damn, the Chargers gave them a better game than the New England Patriots. Not that means anything. You can't do anything. It's just the way it is.
Yeah,
and Bill Belichick lost his magic. You know, it looked like it was actually. If you liked New England, I think you would have been depressed because they looked kind of not good on either side of the ball. They lost Akeem Talib. You know, they lost him right off the bat.
Right.
And you know, Bill Belichick has been Bella aching about that all week.
Tell him to Belichick himself.
Check into some rehab or something, you know. But he's been claiming all week that you know, Wes Welker did that thing on Talib on purpose,
right?
And it was the worst thing he's ever seen.
Has he been complaining that all week, or has everybody been talking about it all week?
He's been complaining, but then, you know, he complained about it, and then of course it became a big.
And said it was a legal hit.
It was beautiful. There was no problem. I've seen it several times. Yeah. It was a great pick, which the New England Patriots live and die by the pick.
Right.
So it was just a pick. And
so the Broncos won 26-16.
Okay.
But
Peyton Manning's
Patriots,
legacy.
They weren't out. I mean, they still had their chances at the end, but you know.
They did, but they didn't really look. Didn't look like they wanted to take it and win it. You know. So I wasn't disappointed.
You weren't disappointed because you picked the Patriots to win.
I did.
And Ava and Matt. No, Matt picked the tie.
That's right.
You and Ava picked the Pats to win.
Yeah, and I thought, as I said last week, and as I just said, that Belichick would find a way. But I'm starting to believe in the Broncos more and more every week. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes next. You know, on their next game. What's that? The Super Bowl or something?
I think
it's a couple weeks.
Their next
out.
game, yeah.
Yeah, Super Bowl. There goes.
Well, this weekend we have the Pro Bowl coming up.
The Pro Bowl, yes, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been watching a little bit of it, and
as you know, we taped this on Tuesday nights, and tonight they had night one of the draft.
Right.
And tomorrow is night two.
All the no names tonight.
Well,
the guards and the defensive
interior defensive linemen,
right?
And,
punters. Nobody knows who they are, but they are important,
and they're the best.
And they're the best at what they do. So
it's Jerry Rice versus Deion Sanders. And they're the two general managers of the teams,
right?
And it's
they're
actually
drafting.
been pretty good.
And there's no conference.
Right,
Conferences
it's not
this
AFC
year,
against NFC.
You can pick whoever you want to be on your team.
All the NFC players have been getting picked first, though. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, that's right. That was interesting.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised, but I think in that arena, that's probably a good thing.
And that won't be that way forever. Next year it could be the complete opposite.
Right.
But hey,
there's
there's the bell, there's the whistle.
touchdown.
Why don't we stop there?
Let's stop there.
Check out these messages. We'll
Have
be
a
right
little
back.
nickel drink.
Hey, welcome back. George, just to kind of touch again on the Pro Bowl. Today was day 1 of the draft. Tomorrow is day 2. And then they have until Sunday to practice and gel as a team.
It's going to be fun this year.
It is.
I think with the non-conference thing, you could have a quarterback playing against his linebacker in the regular
Or against his
season,
head coach.
or against his head coach,
Right.
Which is a
It's
couple of things we saw already.
It's either going to be Cam Newton against Ron Rivera's team or Jimmy Graham against Drew
Right.
Brees' team.
Yeah,
So,
and that'll be fun. I think they've made some strides to make it a lot more interesting to people and,
And
stuff.
very well done.
You gonna watch it? I'm gonna watch it.
I am going to watch it.
I am gonna watch it because
Probably
I
the
know you
first
probably
time
don't.
that I watch
yeah.
it from beginning
Yeah.
to end. Too.
Yeah. How about you, Matt? No. Okay. That's a definite maybe.
All right.
But so we got a Super Bowl coming up, don't we?
Yeah, but before we get to the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, we had some playoff games.
Did we have
talked a
another
little
playoff?
bit. We talked a little bit about the Pats and the Broncos,
Yep.
and how I picked the Broncos all by myself. Here, you guys all,
right.
picked the.
I know you called your
Patriots.
mom. Don't give me that. Mom, who should I pick?
Yeah, that's what I do. I call my mom.
No, you call Ava.
I don't call Ava. Ava
Okay.
picked the Patriots with you.
That's right. Way to go, Ava.
But there was another game, a much
Ooh.
more exciting game.
Ooh, and kind of a controversial game, and it had a lot of,
It really
lot of
was.
things going.
Okay, well, we're
How
talking about the 49ers traveling to Seattle to play the Seahawks
And the 12th man.
and the 12th man. And the 12th man was represented by Paul Allen.
Yes, he raised the
this
flag
time,
there. Wasn't that kind of cool?
That was kind of cool.
That was kind of cool. A billionaire raising the
Well, he
flag
owns
for
the
his,
team.
he owns the team, but still, he could have said, "I'm going to hire somebody to do that."
Yeah, I guess he could have.
Can you have one of my underlings do that for me?
That looks a lot like work.
I've done that. Been there, done that.
That was, I'll tell you, if you were pulling for the 49ers, which you were,
Yes, which I was.
you were pretty excited with that first half because
Right,
they came
right.
out, they were sort of on fire, and they really shut down Seattle.
They did. And I thought they were actually going to pull that one out. And a lot of interesting calls.
Fortunately,
in that
there
game,
are two
wasn't there?
halves to each game.
Yeah.
And you're right. There were a lot of calls that I felt maybe didn't go the right way.
Well, at the worst, they were ticky-tack. They were. But yeah, you're right. The calls were. There were some calls that should have gone another way.
I'm not a big fan of Jim Harbaugh, but
I'm not either.
After the game, I thought he showed a lot of class.
Oh, he did.
And he didn't complain about the the officiating, and I think he could have.
And he still hasn't. I mean, he even days after the game, he's been.
And I'm not talking about the play where it was a takeaway in the at the 1 yard line.
Right.
That was I don't know how that happened.
Really? No.
I don't know how that happened, but that was just wrong.
Right.
And I know it wasn't a reviewable play, but
Exactly.
But that was just kind of there was so much leading
Indicative
up
of
to that.
the whole. Indicative of.
I
a
think
lot
there
of
were
the
like
officiating.
3 grounding plays, intentional grounding plays before they finally actually threw the flag, or 2 before they finally threw the flag.
Yep.
But But he showed class, and it's over. You can't do anything at that point.
He was actually philosophical about it. He was quoting whoever he was quoting in the deal there. It was very philosophical.
But the important thing to know is that the 49ers blew out the Seahawks in the first, they held them to nothing in the first half of that game.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks went into the locker room, made adjustments, came back, and turned it all around.
And San Francisco
couldn't do anything in the second half.
They did not make the adjustments, and that's an important part of the game in any game, but especially in a big game like this.
You got to hand it to the coach. You got to hand it to the quarterback, the offensive line for giving him a little more time in the second half.
The defense.
Yeah. The defensive backs are amazing for the Seattle Seahawks.
They are.
And it was an exciting game. And I was very excited about the turnout.
Yeah, well, me too. I just thought it was a very interesting ending to the game with Richard Sherman.
There's been a lot of attention given to his interview with Aaron Andrews at the end. And
before that, when he went up and jawed with after he made
Michael
Crabtree, I thought that showed a tremendous lack of class to do that, and then to go on and scare the crap out of Aaron Andrews.
I just think it takes a special person.
Did you see her? I mean,
it takes a special person to play at that level in the NFL.
Right.
But maybe if you're going to be that person, maybe you don't talk to the cameras right after you.
Maybe you take a few Valium or something before you come out and
a couple deep breaths.
Deep breaths at least.
Hey,
that's right.
We got to take a break here. Come on back after
whistle.
These
Touchdown.
Welcome back to the show. I was waiting for you to say it.
Welcome back to the show.
All right, one last thing. Richard Sherman, he's the kind of guy that makes Super Bowl week so exciting, so much fun, so much fun. To talk
Scaring
about.
Women is really fun.
She wasn't scared. She she said, okay.
And that's why they cut off like 3 seconds. I'm the greatest. Okay, back to...
Whatever.
I was scared. Stop.
Look, he realized that he didn't put his teammates in the best light. He's apologized. He's trying to do some damage control. He's trying to lighten it up, and I appreciate him doing that.
I do too.
I just want to see some good play in the game.
And he's always been like that, though. I mean, he's had several incidents like that, so I don't see him changing. I don't see him changing.
The guy that doesn't say anything, we don't know his name, but we know who Richard Sherman is because they always go to him and they always
he scares old ladies.
And he always Aaron Andrews, George.
No, other old ladies. He goes out in the street and scares them. Actually.
Yeah. I hadn't heard that, but okay.
Well, there we go. See, there you go.
Those are not the opinions of the Mike and George experiment.
No, they're the opinions of the George and Mike experiment.
There are other things going on in the NFL.
Yeah. I think we have a big game coming up soon, huh?
Well, we are. We talked about the Pro Bowl. We talked about the Super Bowl a little bit.
Well, but they're changing that from the Super Bowl to the Rocky Mountain High Bowl. High Bowl. Both those states approved marijuana. So recreational marijuana. So who said, these two teams show me that, who said that pot diminishes your mental capacities and things? These guys were playing at a high level. I'm so glad. High level. All right. I'm back.
That's good. That's funny. High level. I get it. All right. Hey, congratulations to the Minnesota Vikings for hiring a coach.
Hey, all right.
And
I think within
maybe by
next
August,
season or the season after,
maybe by August, Cleveland will have
a coach. That's right.
Hey, George, maybe you should be the Cleveland Browns coach.
Well, I think I could do it. I think I could do it because nobody
better
wants to
than
do
the guy
it.
that's in
Nobody
there
wants to
now.
do it. That's right. If there's nobody there, if I was the coach, would I make some noise? No, and I would, and I think I could do it.
All right,
so
let's move on.
we want to. This is my plea. Let me do your coaching, please, because they don't even have an offensive coordinator anymore.
No, they don't have anybody.
Norv went to some other team,
They don't have anybody.
and he had such a great year at Cleveland. You just saw how good that offense was this year.
Yeah, there was something else.
Yes, they were something else.
But there are also some new rules that are being contemplated. The
Pretty incredible.
extra point.
Out the window if
Possibly.
if this comes to fruition, whatever that means. And
What they would do is you get a touchdown. It's
you get 7 points automatically. But if you decide you want another point, you have to.
They're going to put the ball down on like the 2 or the 3 or the 5.
And you're going to try to take it into the end zone.
Pass it in, you run it in.
You'll get an extra point. So you'll have 8 points. But if you do miss,
and it's a big but.
It's a big but. If you don't make it, you go back to 6.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting. They're going to strategy will change a little bit, I think, and things like that. 8 points
if it passes, if they decide to do it.
We don't even know if that's going to happen, but they're talking about it, and I think that's pretty huge.
And they're going to review their new policy about penalized hits being overturned.
They could review those in the booth and or down on the field and stuff, and determine whether they.
And the other one was regarding the playoffs. Taking place on Fridays and Mondays.
Fridays and Mondays. They might schedule some playoff games on Fridays.
Now, how do you feel about each of those?
The first one I kind of like. I
don't want to take kickers out of the game. But
it's such an automatic thing, though.
I do find it interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's so automatic now, and I think that's what they're saying. They've only missed like 5 this year, 5 extra points this year. So it's automatic. You're taking a guy's job away, though, and that's a good point.
Let's move him back.
Yeah.
Let's move him back
to the 20-yard line of the other team.
And the penalized hits, I think they need to do that. I'm not wild about moving the playoffs to Fridays and Mondays.
No, I kind of like where they are.
On the weekend, because you
Friday
can have
night
a party.
might be all right, be kind of fun. Because you got Saturday and Sunday.
It's a work day. If you're going to have a playoff party, then,
Yeah. No, but I do.
You got to do it after work, but before the game? Come on.
All right, then. We can see where he stands in this. Why don't we take a break?
We'll be back after these messages.
High energy. Welcome back, folks.
George, is it the time that I think it is? Okay.
I want to tell you something else.
All right.
I want to tell you neither the Chargers or the Redskins will be on Hard Knocks this season. I know you're disappointed. Yes, we do, but let me get back to you on that one. I do. I have it right here, but I'll have to look. Well, so why don't we do the...
We just came back from a break.
Damn it. Why am I not ready again?
Don't dig.
Well, it's 3 weeks until spring training opens in baseball for our baseball friends. And I don't know where it is. I'm sorry. But
Thanks for interrupting me to break some news that you didn't have.
This just in. Okay.
All right.
You go ahead.
It's time for George's True-False Shootout.
Now, poop. That's never happened to me before. Honest. All right. Here's the deal. I think the top 3 NFL-ready quarterbacks, college quarterbacks, going into the draft are as follows. Teddy Bridgewater from Louisville, Blake Bortles from UCF, and Johnny Football from Texas A&M.
You would be wrong.
Okay, then. And you tell me why that is.
I'll tell you who the
Why
number
don't you
one
tell me who
is.
the number 1 is? And I bet...
And I don't have to look very far down this list. In fact, he's at number 1, and he happens to have won a Heisman Trophy this year, and he happens to be on the national championship team.
Ooh, gee.
How about Florida State's Jameis Winston?
I And again, I preface this by saying NFL ready, so I don't think he's quite as advanced as these guys, and that's kind of what I'm saying. But I agree with you. He's gonna go high.
Bryce Petty, number 2, QBR rating. Quarterback ratings. They have the highest ratings. Number 2 is Bryce Petty. Number 3 is Johnny Manziel.
And Richard Petty.
And then Zach Mettenberger. Then 5th place, your Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, how about our other fifth friend?
Taj Boyd, 6.
Taj Boyd.
Marcus Mariota. A.J. McCarron, number 8.
See,
A.J.,
that's the one I thought you...
quarterback 2 national
Auburn?
championship teams
LSU?
for Alabama. He has a higher QB rating than Blake Bortles.
But the thing is, that they're taking more into.
Anyway, you're wrong.
All right. Well, that's why I'm here, to not find that piece of paper that I've been looking for
What's
for
the
years
next
now.
George's True False Shootout?
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna do a retro thing. The Chargers in Denver last week. The awful offensive play calling during the game. All right. Ken Wisenhunt, who's gone to the Texans.
You're talking about the Chargers.
The Chargers
awful
and
play
Denver.
calling.
Yes, I am. He did 3 job interviews the week before the game.
Okay.
And I believe it had an effect on the calling.
Outcome of the game?
The calling of the game. Maybe not the outcome of the game, but the calling of the game.
Why? You think he didn't want to put his best foot forward?
Who knows? I'm just saying.
Mind
I think
was
it had
elsewhere.
effect. So you're answering my question. You're answering. Do you think that could have had an effect on what he did, or do you think it's an absolute? Because there's 2.
I just think the Chargers had a tough time executing their plans. But
yeah, but
I'm not going to blame it on him having a conversation with somebody else about a coaching job.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just saying that I think it might have had.
He probably had a conversation with his wife, and maybe she ticked him off.
All right, are you just going to diminish every one of the George's True False Footouts tonight?
We're running low on time. Do you have any more? Because we have some
I haven't. No, let's go ahead and you have some email. I've got one after you're done there.
All right.
Or I'll do mine. No.
Jerry writes, Mike or George.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of Bill O'Brien bolting to Houston after just 2 years? I can see Larry Johnson moving on to Ohio State, but now it's James Franklin's turn to see how long he will use Penn State.
Where are you going? You're going on. Go ahead.
I think Bob owes the players he recruited his word that he would stay. I never expected him to stay for 10 years.
But 4 years. But 4.
Four isn't asking too much.
That is the exact amount that he should have stayed.
Hey, I think Penn State came out ahead. His contract had to be bought out.
Right.
They're fine. He did a good job. He's going to move on when the timing's right.
He's going to move on because that's good. That's a good thing.
And when a coach recruits, he needs to be recruiting the school and the program.
Right.
I know he's taking some players with him, but I feel that you're supposed to recruit the program and the school, not the coach.
But it's a good question. It's a good question.
Because there's nobody at that university that's indispensable. I mean, they canned Joe Paterno. Okay. This guy wasn't going to be there forever, and nobody's going to be there forever. But Uncle Rick writes, defense wins games. Go Hawks. What have you got?
All right. Anything? I've got which teams or teams in the playoffs do you think that have been to the playoffs you think will not repeat next year? I'm just going to pick one if you want to.
I hate to say it, but I think it's either going to be the Kansas City Chiefs or the Cincinnati Bengals. And I want both of those teams to do well, but I went and I looked at who was in the wild card playoff area, and I think those two have the biggest chance.
Well, I'm going to go big here. I'm going to say the Patriots are not going to make the playoffs next year.
That's interesting.
So,
hey, thanks for tuning in. If you want to send us an email, we love getting emails. You can send them to themgexp@gmail.com. You can catch the show on Facebook or YouTube or on altitude.tv. Just go to About Us and click on Affiliate Corner, and there we are. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the Pro Bowl.
And we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, look at that. That was close.
Super Bowl show. next week.
Right. Next week's Super Bowl show. That's right.
All right.
Now, I wish I could find that thing about the Hard Knocks because I had it right here. And
I even asked you before if you were
I know.
prepared.
I
You
was
said you
prepared.
were all set
And
up.
I was prepared.
I can't remember who
Jesus.
it's gonna be.